Hello and welcome to another video from Natasha Lee, and this week it's a bit different because I'm in front of the camera, which is something I have to be honest I am not overly comfortable with. I'm much happier hiding behind a mic and showing you that bit of my finger. But you've all been asking to see me in front of camera. I'm going to give it a go this week because I only have one camera at the moment and I'm going to need two. So this week I am showing you how I make my nail polish shelves because that was so highly requested after my polish collection video. Before we do that though, I need to show you something and say a huge thank you because we won! I say we because you guys voted for me and that played a huge part in me winning. It is Natasha Lee Best Beauty Vlogger. So thank you everyone so much. It is amazing to get this because normally nails always tend to be at the bottom end of beauty, the way it's seen, whereas in actual fact it takes so much training and so much money to get all the equipment. We should be at the top there along with makeup and hair. So thank you everyone, that feels amazing. But for today's video, this is my easy way to get shelves up, and I call this my glue and screw. Watch that get demonetized now, along with all my other videos, because obviously my nail art is so offensive that it has to be demonetized. Only thing that could be less offensive than my nail art videos would be like a live stream of a raw potato. Why don't we decide in the comments section what you think this video will be demonetized for? For the title? Will it be because I'm ginger? Or will it be because I've got a V-neck top on, which could be somehow deemed as inappropriate? Let me know down in the comment section down below because I haven't got a clue what's wrong with the videos.
3 hours later.
And apart from our glue and screwdriver, what else are we going to need? Ideally, we're going to need a spirit level. If you haven't got one of these, there's ways around it, like just trying to look and see if it's level, but this helps. The tape measure. You don't have to have a tape measure, but it can make life an awful lot easier. Self-tappers. These are, I think the particular brand is Turbo Drive, not sponsored, but these are great self-tapping wood screws, which makes them really good because we don't actually need the screws to hold the weight. No one else does that. The screws are just for holding it in place really whilst it dries. And the important bit for the actual shelves is PVC external edge. There we go. Fits quite nicely. So this is 1.5 inch or 3 centimetre. If you want to have edging on your shelves like some of mine do, then you're going to need a smaller external corner, and you're also going to need a pair of scissors. Now ideally you could do with having something like a Dremel or a little hobby hacksaw, something like that, but if you don't have it, good sharp pair of scissors will do absolutely fine. There may well be much better ways of doing this, but you guys wanted to know how I did mine, so this is how I did mine. Where I'm going to aim for this is about here because basically I have no other space. What we're going to do is work out first by taking my tallest nail polish bottle that I have. Okay, Morgan Taylor bottles are pretty much the tallest. You're going to look roughly. So we're going to be looking about there. Really want a little bit of space above it. So about there, which does mean that we're going to be hitting the light switch. So I'm going to measure roughly from there to the light switch. So we're looking about 27 inches exactly. I want to keep it just under that. So 68 centimetres. So roughly what we're aiming for is this to be sort of about there. So let's measure this to 68 centimetres. So 68 is right there. So let's mark it. We have marked right here. And this is where the scissors come in now. If you are going to give this a go, be really careful because it is pretty hard. Ideally you want to cut this with a hacksaw, a little hobby hacksaw. If you don't have one, then you can use scissors, but if you are under the age of 16, get someone to help you. If you're over the age of 16 and clumsy, get someone to help you. And I am just going to snip down one side and turn it over. And you can see where it's left that mark there, she says. And line it up with that one. Snip the other side and push down. Yes, there are easier and better ways of doing this, but this is designed for people who don't have many tools. Again, snip a bit further this time. And almost through. Okay, once you've snipped off, we're going to tidy this up now. Let's just neaten this a bit. And because it's plastic, you can bend it in a bit. Get an old 240 grit file and just soften off any sharp edges. If you have sandpaper, that's even better. I never do. Now I am going to show you first how to create this actual shelf that I'll be using for my Magpie gel polishers, and for that I don't want the lip on the edge of it, like that one up there, where it doesn't have a lip. But I will show you in a moment how to create the ones with the lip as well. Now we're going to work out exactly the position we want the shelf to be in, and we need to make sure it's level, so I've got my spirit level. And take one of my tallest nail polish bottles, because that's always a good angle to work from. And I want to leave a little bit extra gap at the top of it. Right, that is completely level. So I'm going to mark the top of it to make sure that when I've glued it, it goes in the right place. Now we can see we've got our lines going across. Next step is gluing. Now I've bought this one because, to be honest with you, it's just nice and lazy. You just open it, and I've taken a little thing out here. It's on max. You can take the little thing off the end. There we go. And this is the side I want against the wall. And we're just going, ooh, not do it like that. Now we need to spread it out. I'm going to use an orange wood stick because that's all I ever have in my office, because it's a nail room. And I'm just going to literally spread this out. This is what I said, it's not perfect, this. It looks fine on the wall. Mine lasts great, it hasn't moved. I have got a little bit too much on this, so we probably are going to get some coming out above and below when we stick it on the wall, but we can wipe off any excess. And once you are happy with that, we're ready to stick this on the wall, but we are going to get some screws and our screwdriver ready. And so now I'm going to pop it up on the wall. Make sure you've got your no more nails on that side. We're going to look for our pencil lines along the wall, and let's just line that up. Once you're happy you've got it lined up, we're going to push it against the wall. You can see we've got a little bit coming up here. We'll deal with that in a minute. A bit coming up there, and just pushing it firmly against the wall. If you want, you can check again, but do it very lightly, because we don't want to move this. To make sure that it's level. There we go, I'm just pushing up slightly on one side to make sure, and carefully take it off. This is where you do need to be a little bit more careful. This isn't the most attractive thing, it does help hold it in place. You could now leave this for 24 to 48 hours to dry fully. I do actually like to put an additional screw in though. A couple of places along it for extra security. And this is why we used self-tappers. It can be a bit stubborn to get it in. Although we're not drilling, it's not as important, but do make sure that you don't have any pipework or electrics behind where you're putting this in. I already know that I haven't, because I've obviously put loads of these shelves on the wall. I'd advise keeping these in. If you don't like them, you can take them out after it's set, but if you keep them in, you can always cover them up with a bit of white nail polish. I'm just going to do one at each end and one in the centre on this wall. I love this ratchet screwdriver. I got this so cheap in like a pound shop. It's great. And you can see that this is pretty sturdy. You can get some flex in it sometimes, but that's fine. Just wipe off the excess. And then if you don't like the look of the screws, just take a white nail polish. I'm going to use my Colour Club because this one's a bit too thick to actually use in nail art now. And just paint over them to disguise them. And that's done. And after 24 to 48 hours, your new shelf is ready for use. If you're really impatient like me, you could actually use it straight away because you've screwed it to the wall, but ideally I'd leave it. Now, if you want to find out how to add the ledge onto it, I'm going to show you. We don't need to do it for this one because these overlap slightly and I don't want to cover up the names on the bottom of them. Just for demonstration purposes, if you wanted to add a ledge like these ones to this shelf, all you're going to do is take some 1/2 inch external edging. So this was 1.5 inch and this is 1/2 inch. Cut it to length exactly the same if you wanted to do it. I'm doing a smaller piece just to show you. Then all you're going to do very, very carefully is take your edging and a hot glue gun. And can you see on one side there? You just run the hot glue gun along the edge. Do be careful about your fingers. I have actually caught myself on a thumb before and burnt it. So you just go along that inside edge, and as soon as you've done that, you're going to press it on the underside of the shelf. Now this is a way of giving you a bit more depth of the shelf if you stuck it away a little bit, or you put it flush against the edge. But there's two different ways I've done it here. This is sticking it underneath, which is a much better method in my opinion because you get a flat shelf. This method I did slightly differently, and I applied it on the underside and stuck it on the top, but that makes a ridge inside the shelf, which isn't so good. You could actually use the No More Nails again if you wanted. I just used the glue gun because it was instant. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you to everyone who requested this video. It has been so highly requested. Let me know if you're going to give these a go and which one's your favourite style, with or without the edging. In the meantime, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos every weekend. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so you get a notification of when I'm uploading. And I'll look forward again to seeing you next week.